The woman who blamed Trump after giving her husband fish tank cleaner is now under investigation for murder.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Imagine my utter shock over this story. The woman who claimed that it was Trump's fault that he said hydrochloroquine could possibly treat COVID-19, that she saw something labeled chloroquine, and it was actually like chloroquine phosphate or something, and gave it to her husband, to which he got sick and died. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a murder plot to me in one of those movies. And you're gonna find out that this woman has a history of abuse and villainy. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on National Review. So one of my viewers in my Discord server brought this story to my attention, and I gotta tell ya, it is truly interesting, and I think anyone could have seen this coming. But the worst part is, the media totally backed up this woman, a murderer, because Orange Man bad. Oh, so let's just jump right into it, folks. But before we look at the story, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications. And if you like the video, consider giving it a share. So, here we are. Arizona police are conducting a homicide investigation into a woman who claimed she gave her husband fish tank cleaner after President Trump claimed the anti-malarial drug hydrochloroquine was an effective treatment for coronavirus. So long story short, she had a plan to murder her husband, and then she murdered her husband and then blamed Trump. Now this girl is smart. She knew that the media was Democrat and very, very biased. They hate the big bad orange man, the president of the United States. So she knew that she could probably get away with it if she claimed that it was because Trump said so on TV. She knew exactly what she was doing. Wanda Lenius told NBC News last month that she and her husband Gary consumed fish tank cleaner because it contained a chemical that Trump suggested might be an effective prophylactic and treatment for coronavirus. The cocktail, which contained 4 teaspoons of fish tank cleaner mixed with soda water, put Wanda in the ICU and killed Gary. My advice, Wanda explained, is don't believe anything that the president says and his people because they don't know what they're talking about. If there's anyone I don't believe, it's you. Here's a big problem with the story. There are facts that just don't act up. So if we look at her profile, here the Washington Free Beacon says, they first found out that Wanda was a prolific Democratic donor. In other words, she was a member of the Democratic Party. Now, why would someone who gives lots and lots of money to the Democratic Party believe anything Trump says? Wouldn't they just be like, Orange Man bad, America last, open the borders, and other crazy things? Wouldn't they believe in social justice and all this other nonsense that the Democrats are always talking about? Although they never practice what they preach. They wouldn't. She would probably have TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. She wouldn't believe what the president said. So that already is highly suspect, but here's the kicker. She apparently had a troubling relationship with her husband that included previous domestic assault charges. So it was revealed Tuesday night that Mesa City Police Department is conducting a criminal investigation into the death of Gary and requesting recordings of the Free Beacon's interviews with Wanda. So who's the man who died? The man who died ingesting fish tank cleaner was an intelligent, level-headed engineer. He was smart. He was intelligent. He would have never taken fish cleaner because he would have known better. He was an engineer. He would have known the difference between a medicine and a chemical. So the Free Beacon they're key behind this investigation because they're the ones who began to question the story. It doesn't make sense. But friends of 68-year-old Gary Lenius, the Arizona man who passed away last month from drinking a fish tank cleaner that contained a specific ingredient, chloroquine phosphate, which is not hydrochloroquine at all, that Trump had touted as a potential coronavirus cure, again, it wasn't the same thing, say they are still struggling to understand what drove an engineer with an extensive scientific background to do something so wildly out of character. Yeah, it was his wife. She killed him. And here you can see woman who ingested the fish tank cleaner is a prolific donor to Democratic causes. Okay, so here are some stories by people about Wanda, the woman who poisoned him. Wanda would constantly berate Gary in public, said a source who asked that all identifying information be withheld. Everyone was embarrassed for him, but he outwardly did not seem to care much. So his woman was out of line, and he wasn't bringing down the hammer. He wasn't disciplining her. She was clearly out of control. In our opinion, their marriage was seen outwardly to be one-sided, as a marriage possibly could be. Gary worshipped Wanda. I have to honk the horn. So, Gary was a simp. It's clear that he was a simp. He was absolutely obsessed with his wife, but his wife hated his guts. She was abusive. She was mean. She was a bad wife. And he died for it. Make no mistake, the simps out there, the beta orbiters. Oh yeah, you think it's a great thing to get the girl, but it could cost you your life, okay? Let it be known that simping can cost you your life. So his wife would routinely call him doofus and humiliate him in public. This was an engineer. Okay, so I'm assuming she was hot. Wow. Lenius' friend recalled Wanda Lenius destroying her husband's aircraft model collection after he returned home late for a meal. What a crazy freaking woman. Oh my God. Look, I think aircraft models are lame, but if I were to make one and then my wife were to break it, well, I can tell you folks, I wouldn't take that standing. These planes had taken many dozens and sometimes hundreds of hours to complete, said the friend. Gary did not get angry. He simply junked the planes that were not repairable and fixed the rest. This is the Gary I knew. He would never get upset. He just accepted what happened and carried on. Oh, this is his problem. Okay, Gary was a huge simp. He was a huge beta. He wasn't able to stand up for himself. If I had to guess, maybe he had the tism, right, and didn't know how to deal with people. But ignoring the issue is never a good option, okay? Wow, this is a nightmare. It's just story after story about her abuse. There's people out there who actually believe that men cannot be abused and that women are always the victim. But Gary was being tormented by his crazy, insane wife who hated him and who was destroying this man until she finally killed him. So the police are saying the following. As this is an active investigation, I cannot go into any details at this time regarding this case. Homicide detective Teresa Van Galder told the Free Beacon. In an interview, Wanda Lenius told the outlet that her decision to drink the cleaner with her husband was a spur-of-the-moment thing, and that they ingested 1 teaspoon and some soda each, at least 4 times the lethal limit. Liar. The man would never knowingly drink the fish cleaner, and even if she did take some of it, she probably took a very small amount. So whether hydrochloroquine is an effective coronavirus treatment has not been clinically determined. Nevertheless, the drug has become a partisan issue. Of course, because Democrats are insane, and they'll literally side with the murderer. I want to show you something. Here you see. This is an NBC News correspondent covering politics and government ethics. Her name is Heidi Pers or something. And she defended a murderer for poisoning her husband, as if she was the victim, and this was all Trump's fault. These tweets will age very badly, and I hope she gets called out on her shit. Here we see. Her husband is dead, and she's in the ICU after ingesting chloroquine. And then she quotes her saying they saw Trump, and Trump told them to drink fish tank cleaner, which he did not. And then look at all these tweets. Oh, this is the most horrible day of my life, says his wife. The murderer. Oh, it feels like my heart has been broken and it'll never mend. It's broke dead like my husband, says the murderer. I'm 61, my husband was 68. We're healthy, no underlying conditions, no diabetes, lung issues, nothing. Says, oh my God, don't take anything, don't believe anything the president says the murderer. All of this was tweeted by Heidi. Because Orange Man bad. Never mind the fact that you're literally painting a murderer story as real when it was a complete and utter lie. The media is evil. And now this is something I often say, because it is. It's true. They're literally covering for a murderer. Look at all these retweets. Look at all this. Now, how many people will hear the story that she's being investigated for murder? Oh, I bet you they're not going to pay attention because Democrats live in an alternate reality where they only see the news that they want to see, that the lamestream media, that the corrupt media establishment is feeding them, and then they don't see these stories. Oh, actually, she was trying to murder him. And if you had half a brain, you would have realized that no one in their right mind would drink fish tank cleaner unless they had a room temperature IQ. Now, there's people out there with low IQs, but come on, folks. Don't bullshit me. We all know what this is. Murder. The details don't add up. Nothing adds up. It's clear that she killed her husband in cold blood. The proof is in the pudding. Wanda told the Free Beacon that she and her husband were both Democrats, not Trump supporters. They heard about the potential benefits of hydrochloroquine, an anti-malarial drug. Nonsense. They would never ever believe the president if they were Democrats, because 90% of Democrats have Trump derangement syndrome, and they'll just say orange man bad, whatever he says is wrong. If Trump came out against cancer, Democrats would be pro-cancer. That's just how it works. She killed him. She absolutely, utterly killed him. She was a crazy wench and a murderer and a criminal, and poor Gary, the simp, is now gone. But that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. Oh, a tale of murder. Everyone should have known. But here we are. Now, I hope every single Democrat out there that believed this stupid story is going to see this story. I hope they're going to realize how wrong they were, and that, no, it wasn't because Trump said something which he didn't say. It was because this woman wanted to get away with snuffing out her husband's life. Godspeed, Gary. Let's hope that you're a Chad in the afterlife. But let me know what you guys think. Women out there, I'd love to hear your opinion. Now, if you would like to support the content that I make, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar. Links are down below in the description. If you do join, you will get access to a private Discord server. That's one good way to get me these stories. I would have probably never seen this without that story. Isn't it amazing that the mainstream media isn't talking about this? So share the video if you think this is a good video. If not, just comment, like, dislike, whatever suits you. If you want to donate, all that's in the description. I got donor box, Bitcoin, the works. Now, as always, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time.